Gotten a couple of requests here about the ceramic coating that I put on my bikes, and just so you guys know, I'm wearing my helmet right now, so you guys can get a point of view situation. It's just a lot easier for me to like have it on my helmet than to be holding basically the gimbal and everything too. And I've been asked multiple times what brand I use for the ceramic coating on my bikes. This is the brand that I use right here. It's called Underdog, out of Texas. The owner's name is Joel, one of my good friends, and this is some of the best stuff that you can buy. If you're going to do it by yourself and not have a professional do it for you, this is the most forgiving stuff in the world. I use it on my bikes more than anything because there is a Teflon component in this mixture, in this chemical range, and it does very, very good on plastic and also to the metal tanks. So this is what I typically use when I'm pretty much getting ready. Or say when I'm getting, or I'm going to put a coat on my bike to protect it. All of my bikes have this on here. You guys can see how shiny these bikes stay no matter what, whether they're wet or dry. They just all look wet pretty much. This one is going to look super wet when I'm done with it. But the most important thing that you have to remember when you're doing the preparation for this, and I'll show you what I mean, you have to have excuse the mess, guys, I'm moving here, so I want to be able to show you guys some stuff. The most important thing is you have to have alcohol, okay, to strip whatever is on the actual bike that's coming from, the factory or whatever. So the key to this is just to make sure that you wipe it down really, really good with alcohol. So this isopropyl alcohol, you can spray it on there. All you gotta do is wipe down every component that you are going to basically ceramic coat. And what you want to do is you want to basically take off any type of wax that may have been put on the showroom. Some of the nicer bike dealerships will actually wax their bikes to make them shinier when they're on the showroom floor. You want to be able to strip all that stuff, and you guys do that with pretty much alcohol. So it's pretty much one part water, 5 parts basically the isopropyl alcohol. And you're going to use this on any, like I said, of the parts that you're going to be putting the actual coating on. So, and you don't have to be too crazy about it, but you do want to wipe it down in a way that all of the areas that you're going to be coating have at least a little bit of alcohol in them to strip what was on there previously. So you got to make sure that you guys do that for the tank, also the front here. It's really important to kind of get that all off of the glass and everything too. This stuff doesn't hurt anything. A lot of people are, I think, under the impression that if you put this denatured alcohol on here, that it's going to somehow, some way dull the paint or even the actual windshield on here, and it does not do that. So you just, like I said, guys, use this stuff pretty liberally. It doesn't have to be too crazy, but you do just want to get a good wipe down on the fairings and everything too. So let me see if I can grab my my roller here so I can get low on this. Actually, I'm gonna move this here. I have to be very, very careful. I burned my Achilles tendon, guys, on a pipe when me and my buddies were parking our bikes. I touched my buddy's pipe. It was super hot. Burned the hell out of my freaking Achilles thing. And every time I move this roll around thing, it hits it hits basically the sore. But you guys get the idea of what I'm doing here. I'm just basically wiping it down, trying to get all these parts pretty much stripped of whatever decontaminants, or contaminants I should say, that are on this. I'm decontaminating it as I wipe this stuff off. So you just want to make sure that you get all of those areas down there, especially where you're going to get a lot of road grime. And a lot of people always ask me, like, well, CK, why do you do that? Well, the number one reason why you ceramic coat a bike is not only for the protective layer for the paint, especially if you have really nice bikes. I mean, you guys know it's a $30,000 bike here. kind of have to take good care of it so it lasts a long time, even though I don't really keep my bikes that long. But what this does, when you guys are flying down the road, and you guys know this as well as I do, these front areas here, all the cowling here, the front shield, it just gets smashed with bugs. And bugs, in general, their blood is very acidic. And if you have an unprotected fuselage or cowling or any type of covering, especially on cars, it can basically cause something called etching. And that etching is what gives you guys all that blotchy, it looks like almost rock chips on here, but it's really not. It's actually the blood from the bugs that are not washed off consistently, because some people don't wash their cars very often. Should at least wash your car once a week to get all that crap off. A lot of guys do not care for their bikes that way. It's very rare you'll see a guy, like when I jump off my bike, in my bag I've always got, you know, an actual cleaner to get the bugs off of my bike. Now what's cool about a ceramic coating, guys, just so that you know, is that you don't even need anything other than a wet rag. So warm water and a wet rag will go a long way when you've got bugs all over your bike. So I usually keep a microfiber towel, something similar to this, in my bag when I'm riding, and that microfiber towel typically will clean my bike whenever I get to my destination. And I like to make sure that I've got that with me at all times, mainly because I just don't want my bike looking like crap. Not to mention too, I'm super type A about stuff, and I like my stuff nice, man. I don't know how else to put it, guys. I'm one of those guys that just likes everything clean. If you ever come into my house normally, my place is spick and span. I think a lot of people, catches them off guard that, you know, that I'm a bachelor, single, and have such a clean place, but it's important to me. So, and you can see, guys, that did not take that long to do. Just a couple of minutes here, and you can see how it just pulls off all that stuff. And you can wipe down the frame if you're going to put it on there as well. I try to keep the ceramic coating actually on the cowling areas, so where there's paint. I don't really do a lot of the frame stuff. You can, I'm not saying that you cannot do that, but in general, I like to just keep it where the paint's at and everything too. Okay, guys, I'm going to get everything prepped up here real quick so we can put the coating on. I'll show you guys how we do that, okay? So hang tight. Obviously, when you're ceramic coating something, you're going to need to be wearing gloves. The stuff gets very, very tacky. You don't want to get it on your skin because it's pretty dangerous stuff. So you want to make sure that you get you wear some sort of gloves. You're going to need an applicator, okay, and a minimum of 2 rags. Oftentimes, I will use 2 in the beginning, and then I do a complete wipe down on the bike afterwards. And you'll see what I'm saying. So first off, what you're going to do is make sure you shake the bottle real quick so that all the chemicals are mixed up in the actual ceramic coating. This has, each coating that you're going to use has a different flash time. The Underdog one has got a very, very quick flash time. In a humid area, you're probably going to keep this on for about a minute or so. And then what you're going to do is you're going to wipe it off with the first rag, and then you're going to polish with the second rag. You're going to see what I mean, okay? And you're going to see how crazy shiny this stuff basically becomes when you're doing this. Okay, now first off, let me go ahead and put on the gloves here. Okay, typically these are universal. It doesn't really matter which one you slide onto your left or right, but you just want to make sure that it covers your skin. Obviously, nothing crazy, nothing difficult, super easy. And I'm going to tell you, doing this by yourself will save you a lot of money. You take it to a ceramic coating shop like us, for a bike we charge $895, okay, and you can do it yourself for right about $200, so you can definitely save that. Let's go ahead and just put this cap here on the Ducati. And what you want to do is you're going to take your applicator and you're going to generously pour or drop onto the applicator, just about that, okay? And you want to basically make sure this is not going to fall over anywhere. So we'll keep that on the tank over there. And what you want to do is when you apply this, you want to make sure that you use the same direction. I'm going to go north to south on the tank here. Okay, and you're going to rub this coating over every portion of this tank. Now this is going to have about a 1 minute flash time, so I've got about a minute to cover this tank so that I can go ahead and basically take it off once we get this going here. Okay, so you get this on here. Some guys like to coat the actual plastic on that side. That's fine. You can do that. It's not going to hurt it. Let me go to the other side here as well. And let's make sure that we've got this on there too. You can see the little lines. It starts to get like hazy, almost rainbowy color. That's when you know that it's starting to set a little bit. Okay. So here we are. We've just coated the whole entire top of the tank. I'm going to get down here too. I want this area covered as well, as close to the protector as possible. You can cover the protector too if you guys want to. This will help against sun damage as well, so feel free to cover that. Okay, so we can leave the applicator there. Let's let this set for a couple of seconds. So we'll wait just a couple of another 10 seconds or so. And I don't know if you guys can pick this up on the camera, but you see that rainbowy haze on there? You know that's when it started to set, getting flashed nice and neat. So what I like to do is I like to take the rougher or the more pile portion of the rag, and we're just going to go ahead and follow the lines that we just covered, starting with the first area of application, which we started here on the left side. Okay, and we're going to draw this off. We're going to pull it back. So we're going to go ahead and basically pull this back off the tank area. Okay, got it. We did that portion there too. All right, and so let's go to the other side real quick. Make sure we get all that as well. So let's get that all off. Okay, so we've got the initial coating off, and we've got it on. We've got it pulled back on both sides. Now what I like to do is, just to make sure this stays protected, flip it inside and hold this. We're going to grab the second rag. Now we're going to use the fine pylon or piling on there. And we're just going to give this a nice little polish. Okay, so we're just going to polish it. I'm going to go over the same areas here. As you can see, this is not difficult, guys. It's very easy. Super simple. You will thank me later because of the protection that this provides for your bike, especially for those of you that ride in inclement weather. For you guys in the Midwest, sometimes you guys get some really corrosive, salty rain because you guys have so much salt put on the ground during this wintertime that when you ride in the summertime, that corrosive salt dust can get all over your cowlings and everything. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see this, the difference of it, but look how shiny that's staying now. It's very, very shiny. And then you can also turn it back to the pile side if you want, just to go over it one more time. You want to make sure you get every square inch that you covered, because if it stays on there, you're going to get what's called a high spot, and that high spot will look like somebody put white out on your bike. And you don't want that. Especially with these nice colors that are coming out on these bikes. And guys, look how shiny she's already coming out. Pretty cool, right? And if you can feel this, it's so slick to the touch. Like the towel is literally sliding. It used to be super sticky. And now it's like very, very slippery, which is awesome. Okay. So this tank right now, keep in mind guys, this is going to cure for 24 hours. So you do not want to get it wet at any given time. But look at the shine on that sucker. And this is going to get shinier as the day goes on. Shinier and shinier and shinier. I'm going to shoot another video after the 24 hours so you guys can see exactly how amazing. Like, it just looks wet the entire time. So, again, super cool. So we've got that. It's just rag 1, rag 2. Okay. Let's go ahead and see if we can do the back cowl here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of this stuff on there. Keep in mind, those bottles too, guys, are good for an entire vehicle. So here we are, just covering every ounce of green that we can. You can also do the cover if you want to. The rubber on that side, it's totally fine. It won't hurt it at all. I want to get into these crevices, guys. You know, these air dams and vents, I should say, that they have on these bikes now. You want to get as much into those crevices as possible. It's important. Okay, so we got this here. We're going to keep rubbing that in there. You can see I don't know if you guys are picking up on that rainbow haze starting to already set on that side. So it's starting to flash over on that end. Let's place that there. So let's wait a couple of seconds here. See how it's starting to haze over? That's a good sign. It means it's working. And let's go ahead and wipe that off now. Whoa, you can already see how liquid shiny she's already starting to look. I don't know, guys. I've been ceramic coating cars for literally over 15 years. And, or at least coating cars. And it's just, it always makes me smile. I always love doing this, especially with really hot cars that I've owned. And our shop in Miami stays really, really busy. So we do over 600 cars a month at that shop. And we charge $2,500 a car. Some of the cars are more expensive. Lambos and Rolls Royces and Ferraris are almost $6,000 to do those cars. But we do a lot of them. And people always come back for more. They love it. Let's do this first with the little pile. Guys, are you seeing how shiny it's actually becoming? How awesome is this, right? Super cool, right? I love the cowl on this thing. It's so pretty. Nice colors. And when I do the fender delete, I will do the bottom of this, but I'm not going to do it right now because that's coming out. So you guys can see all that rainbow haze is gone, and it's just left with the glass from the ceramic coat. But how amazing does that look? Check that out. Super cool, right? You don't want these things touching the ground. Super cool. And again, we will let this bike sit for 24 hours before we look at that, or I should say take it out in the elements. So that's that part, and that's that part. I don't know if you guys can see it though. She's starting to cure really good. She's gonna get shinier and shinier and shinier as time goes on, which is really neat to watch. It's kind of a cool process. Okay, let's check this out. The front, I like to lay the lacquer on a little thicker. You can see how much I added on this one. I'll put this back over here. Okay. And this one I'm going to put over the windshield because the windshields get completely bugged out all the time. I typically, if I was going to keep the mirrors, I would be putting them on the mirrors too, but these are all going to be switched out for the Rizomas, so I'm not even going to waste the material on it because I will coat the Rizomas once those are installed on the bike. And now you want to go ahead and you want to get into this stuff. Get the headlights and everything too, guys. Get the headlights, get the air ram done in here. This gets a lot of bugs and everything too. Okay. So we're just going to do this side here. I kind of touched this side over here for a second, but we just want this section here. And let's go ahead and get this while we're at it. So we're going to get the front fender covered in the same motion as this stuff here. These get a lot of bugs on them. So you want to make sure this is coated really good, okay? Really good. Okay, let's let that sit for just a second. Guys, it's hot wearing a helmet in a garage. It's like 90 degrees right now. So, you see how it's starting to rainbow over here? You guys can see that a little bit. It's starting to rainbow. That means that it's setting. It's starting to cure. So we'll wait a couple more seconds. And let's wipe her down. I don't know, you guys can see how noticeably different this thing is. It's almost like someone's shining a light on it and put water, like sprayed it with water. It's so amazingly bright. Enhances the color almost twofold. It's like watching it in 3D. It's super cool. I went a little low on that side there, so I've got to make sure you guys know the headlights. Those get a lot of bugs on them in the nighttime if you're riding at night. So you want to make sure you get all those good. So it's nice and you can get the bugs off with one wipe of a wet towel versus having to spray it down with soap and water. Keep in mind, guys, I never wash my bikes with water. I use waterless. I use a waterless type of cleaning material for my bikes. I never spray them with water. I'm like one of the weirdest dudes in the world, but I never wash my bikes with water ever, which is kind of funny if you think about it. I use waterless chemicals, and they work extremely well. And you never have to worry about rusting up your chain or getting water in places that are really hard to blow out. So here's the second pass on this for the pullback. But can you guys see the difference in shine already? It's pretty. I'm not sure if this camera's catching it. The GoPro's okay when it comes to the quality of the picture. I still believe the iPhone camera is way better. When I shoot those other videos, people are like, what the heck camera are you using, bud? But I typically shoot a lot with my phone. And all my riding videos are with the GoPro. But can't hold that freaking thing and then use my hands on coating. So guys, look at how nice that ski stays to easy turning out. Killer, huh? All right. Okay. Wow. I don't know about you, but I can see a difference already. Ouch. That's my leg. Ooh. Very nice. Very, very nice. Okay. We're almost done, guys. I'm going to do the wheels. I always do the rims as well, but I will do that last. I'm going to put a little bit of a thicker lacquer on this too for the sides because these get beat up pretty good. So let's go ahead and cover this bad boy up real good. Again, on this one I'm going north to south on it. Just covering all of the edges. Apologize if it sounds like I'm breathing really hard. I know this microphone is extremely sensitive. But I do breathe kind of heavy sometimes when I'm in a weird position. Okay. Gotta make sure that we pull some of that back, okay? And like you see how I'm getting my finger in here too, for these little edges. You want that. You can even get this too if you want to, because it's exposed to the sun. We don't want it fading on us. It's the last thing you want is for it to fade. Okay. Just wait a second here. Alrighty. So we're going to go out here and we're going to lay this down. I'm going to level the coating real quick. Always make sure you guys get into those crevices with your fingers that you put them in, because you don't want it turning white when it dries and just look like I said before, it makes it look like someone whited out, put white out on your bike or your car if you don't pull it back enough. Nice thing about doing a motorcycle too, you don't have to do any paint correction on it. Like we do with the vehicle, we usually have to do a stage 1 or 2 paint correction before we can coat them. Bikes, when they're brand new, you don't need to do that because they're already decently perfect. Okay. Let's grab this one now. Guys, if you could feel the difference in how slick it feels, I mean, this towel is just gliding across the fuselage and the cowling, just gliding over it like ice skates. It's so smooth, it's so slippery, and that's what you want, man. You want this thing to beat up when it gets wet. You want the bugs to slide off when it hits them. All right, that looks super shiny. Cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. We got one more section here, and we'll call it a day on that one. Let's get my stool here. Guys, I'm sweating bullets, man. It's hot in my garage. And I will soak this sucker up a little bit. Okay. Let's start this process here on this side. Oops, sorry guys. Alrighty. This stuff smells really good too. You shouldn't be sniffing chemicals, but this chemical smells pretty good. Okay. Let's wait just a second. Boy, it's flashing very, very quick. I think because it's so humid in here. It's hot. I don't know if you guys can see how shiny this thing is coming out. Ouch, sorry guys, keep hitting that dang handlebar. Guys, it's as simple as that, my friends. Nothing crazy. But we're going to let this sucker cure for 24 hours. And you can see she's already getting super, super glassy. Super glassy. I want to wipe this down too, make sure we don't get any eye spots here. My friends, that is that. Simple, right? Easy, right? And it'll give you years of protection. These coatings last for 5 years on these for this type of underdog coating. But look at that. Look at that. Super, super shiny. See how wet it looks? It's starting to look super wet. Pretty cool, right? So we'll let that lay down. I'm going to go over a third time with a wipe here in just a second. But yeah, I like the way it's turning out. Anyway, guys, hopefully you found this video somewhat helpful. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate all of your support, guys, with the channel. It's coming along, little by little. We're getting closer to 100,000 subscribers, and I'm excited for that. But other than that, she's looking super sexy. Guys, I appreciate you. You guys have a great Sabbath, and I'll talk to you soon. Cheers. CK out.